Hailey Bieber has a new skincare line and she is being sued by the same name company. And they're saying, you stole our name. All right. So I think the update, so this was reported by TMZ and they have an update and they go, so Hailey's brand tells us that she owns the trademark for skincare. There's something interesting in that statement that we'll talk about. But anyway, so the name is RHODE, RHOD, and that's the middle name for Hailey, but it's the name of this company that sells clothes. And from what I found, because you guys know I have to go that extra mile, I'm going to find the actual registrations. We're going to look at it together. This company, has the trademark in association with a number of things, including clothing. But the basis of this is they're saying, so, we have been around for a while. We have our trademark for RHODE. And so now Hailey's, announced through and including through her very famous boyfriends, Justin Bieber's, was it hundreds of millions of followers on Instagram about her skincare line, and it's causing confusion. Guys, that's a real thing. If that Orko has his trademark and now I start using that Orko, it's not an automatic. He doesn't get to stop everyone in the whole world from using that Orko, but he, typically a good claim is going to be it's confusingly similar if I'm a musician or I'm a record label producer or I'm a this and that saying I'm that Orko.
No, absolutely. And the thing of it is, it sounds like this doesn't seem as cut and dry as the other one that I think we're going to talk about later to me. And because clothing and like skincare products, like they are very different, but a lot of times those companies merge their products. Like you know what I mean? Like it becomes, they do all the kind of the same thing. So Hailey Bieber, Justin Bieber's wife, says that she just owns the skincare stuff, though, right? She doesn't own clothing, and so are the clothing people coming back and saying that we own clothing, but we don't own skincare?
Yeah, guys, and the way that it works is that, it's okay. You can have brands that have the same name as long as you're doing different things, right? So there can be a Miss Krystle, right? So I do music and live performances and I sell clothing and this and that, all under the brand of my Miss Krystle, which is what my registrations are for. But then
Right.
there can also be a Miss Krystle that maybe, sells makeup, right? That's not what I do. The issue though can be if two brands that have the same name start to cross-pollinate the fan base and people get confused, that's where we're going to start having problems. And that is what the clothing company is alleging. They're saying, Hailey, we already have issues of fans tagging us and accidentally actually tagging you.
Right.
So because there's actual confusion happening, that's why they're saying you need to basically cease and desist. And going back to that,
Do you think they'll ever be able to copyright like a hashtag? So like when these people like get movements, do you think there'll ever be a case of like trying to, because that's actually a great point, because if you're trying to use the same hashtags or whatever, I mean, I guess you're getting tagged in your own unique, profile, social media pages. But that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so then here, guys, look at this, right? So I pulled the actual trademark registrations. I mean, it's a little big. So right here, so this one is class 3. So in class 3, we have beauty and wellness products, and it goes into a long list of colognes and shaving and bath stuff and fizzies and
Right.
flakes, what people do to actually take care of themselves, I guess. But this is in class 3. And this is the registration filed by Hailey. And this is 1B, so it means that she filed, but she has not actually, or at the time that she filed in December of 2020, she wasn't actually using it yet. So we can do two ways, right? When we file trademarks, we can file, we tell the trademark office, hey, I'm not using it yet, but I want to get it, and I'm gonna start using it. Or we can file and we say, hey, I'm already using it, and I should be the only one using it. That's two ways to do it. So when she filed at the time, she wasn't actually using it. So that's why in the TMZ update where it's like Hailey's representative is reporting that she owns the trademark. Well, she hasn't actually gotten the registration yet. It's still showing as a 1B application. So just, a little nuance there. And then we look at the registration, right, for again, RHODE. And this is the one where we not only have an actual trademark in the realm of clothing, right? So we have, leather. So we're in class 18, class 25. That's the main clothing category. We have other stuff here. We have market services in class 35. We have recorded material, right? So this is the class we use for like music a lot, audio and visual. Using this trademark in
For a
quite a
lot.
few ways outside of just clothing, but they're saying the biggest issue is as relates to our clothing company.
So I guess my question would be then, wouldn't you argue if I was, if I was the original, the clothing road, um, wouldn't I be able to argue there's no way you didn't know about my trademark? You're telling me Hailey Bieber, who knows, who is has that's around just nothing but people that's do their own startups and start their own clothing lines and make them companies, that you didn't look into going, hey, while I'm doing this, I might as well do road clothing too, and then see that somebody else had that. Like she was, I argue that she was well, or her attorney was, because she has an amazing team. There's no way between her and Beebs they don't have a killer team of attorneys that to help her with this kind of stuff. And so they were aware of that other company, and I think they're like, oh no, we're fine, we'll just do skincare, we just won't do clothing, and thought they were doing fine. But I don't know. There's no way that they didn't look up clothing. Why would, then she's not a very smart entrepreneur if she's not trying to make a cloth like shirts and sweat jumper suits out of her company if it takes off, or not even plan for that. Because like you said, the other company owned all those other ones because they were planning for the future.
Yeah, and actually, you're required to do these searches ahead of time. And so when you file your application, before you sign, it says that you make declaration under penalty of perjury, right? We will fine you $25,000. We will throw your ass in jail. We will do all these things if you lie. And so it says that you believe you are the sole person to own this trademark as it relates to your goods. So to your point, did they do a
But
search? And this is what comes up when there are lawsuits. What searches did you do?
it's like, like in Seinfeld, where George Costanza goes, "It's not a lie if you believe it."
All right, so last one here, Jen. Does the clothing company have to include makeup, skincare with their line just to cover themselves? If they didn't, is Haley okay? Yeah, so the problem here is just that there's some crossover and actual confusion that's happening in the market. So even though we do have technically different classes, if you're in different classes and different marketplaces, you're usually okay to have the same trademark as another company, but there seems to be actual crossover happening. So we'll be following this. And let me make a correction. I think I referenced Haley and Justin as like boyfriend and girlfriend or something. They're married, hence the Hailey Bieber. So
Yeah, I tried to drop that,
whoopsies.
Justin Bieber's wife.
My bad. My bad.